Right, for updates on sports stories across the globe, Aron Akerejola joins us now. Aron, great to have you.
Yes, it's always a pleasure to be here today. Good morning to you, Rufai. Yeah. Good morning to you, always looking regal. And to you, Doctor. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Aron the Baron.
It's good to be here today, and quite a lot to go through in the world of sports. The biggest match for 2020 in the English Premier League came, and boy, did it not disappoint yesterday. The game between Liverpool and Tottenham Hotspur at the Anfield yesterday, as Liverpool decided to snatch all 3 points at the death in a snatch and grab situation. Roberto Firmino, the Brazilian, headed the final goal that sealed all 3 points for Liverpool on the day, and that meant that they went top of the table. Son had actually equalized for Liverpool after Mohamed Salah had actually put them ahead, and ultimately ensuring that Jurgen Klopp will have the final laugh and damning Jose Mourinho to a very bitter defeat. And you and I know Jose Mourinho is a man that does not take defeat lightly. Unfortunately for him, he had to look down the barrel, and it wasn't pretty at all. And Jose Mourinho was speaking after the game that actually ended 2-1 and said that the best team lost. That is his own words, that the best team lost, and it was a little bit livid with Jurgen Klopp, the way he demonstrated on the touchline after the final whistle, and he said it was a little bit uncultured, and everyone knows that Jose Mourinho is a bad loser. He's a sore loser, and once again, he showed it yesterday. Everyone has a right to celebrate. When he scored, when he actually thumped Arsenal, he also celebrated on the touchline. So everyone should be given the opportunity to celebrate, but not Mourinho on the day, because he felt. Let's put it into context. Liverpool owned and bossed the first half of the particular contest, while the second half belonged to Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur should have actually probably pulled away by 2 or 3 goals, but indiscretions and poor finishing led them down on the day, and Firmino had the final laugh, and Mourinho still insists the best team lost. Now, looking at the Premier League table and some of the results that actually were played yesterday in the English Premier League, I saw the likes of Everton also picking up major points against Leicester City on the day, and also Arsenal finally getting what might have just been a point to save Mikel Arteta's job when we look at how things actually played out, because they were a man down and they were still a goal down, and they were still able to pull themselves back from the doldrums of defeat to get a point that has saved his job at the moment. Now, we spoke about Slaven Bilic and the fact that he's been fired. And we knew that Big Sam, the man that is a specialist in helping teams to get to stay away from relegation, has actually been brought into the mix. And they've told him that Mr. Sam, or Big Sam as he's fondly called in England, if you can keep this team up, talking about the baggies, you will get a bonus of £2 million, and that is it. Big Sam has never been relegated in his entire career as a coach in England, and he's helped teams stay away from relegation, and they'll be hoping this time around that he'll be able to do that after taking over for Slaven Bilic. Let's see how things play out. He resumes today, and straight up, I'm sure he'll be going straight into action. But before I come to you guys, let's turn to tennis, and we know that the beginning of the year, one of the tournaments everyone looks forward to as a curtain raiser for the sporting calendar is the Australian Open. And the Aussie Open this time around, instead of starting in January, will start in February. There are talks that it will begin on the 1st of February because of COVID-19 restrictions. And right now, there's a lot of back and forth because the players would have to quarantine for 2 weeks. And they've been making a lot of plea and making a lot of effort to ensure that while the players are quarantining, they can still train and keep their fitness up ahead of the tournament. And the players some of them are saying if they are not allowed to train during that particular quarantine period, they will pull out. But if they are allowed to train, certainly they will go ahead. So as it stands right now, they're still trying to put finishing touches, but certainly the Australian Open will be delayed by 2 weeks next year.
Well, Aaron, two quick points.
Yeah.
Freestar's questions. Well, Arsenal had become synonymous with pain. Some people are even joking that, in the new English dictionary, the word Arsenal should be inserted to replace pain. But they managed yesterday against Southampton to get a draw. Do you think that this will mark a turning point for the underperforming manager of Arsenal and a relief for Arsenal fans who have been calling for, the sack of the coach or even for the entire team to be disbanded? Now, I know you and Rufai like to take pot shots at Jose Mourinho. Yes, he was very emotional yesterday. He said the best team lost. But in your view, was it the best team that won or the best team that lost? Considering that it's still early days in the season. And then, of course, don't forget, don't blame only Mourinho alone. The coach of Liverpool, Klopp, he was complaining about the equalizer, Son's goal, right?
Premier League.
In the Premier League, he was, complaining about Son's second goal. The VAR was used to verify it. Still, he insisted that that goal was unacceptable to him. But in any case, as I said, it's still early days yet, but the star of that match will probably be, if you agree, Robert Firmino, who headed in that decider in the in the dying minutes of the game. Hello, Aaron.
Let me start it off from Arsenal. Arsenal, it's surreal to see Arsenal 15th on the table. That is not where the Gunners belong, and this has caused more pain. A lot of people thought that getting Arsene Wenger fired or getting Arsene Wenger relieved of the job as the manager of Arsenal will probably spell good fortunes for Arsenal. That has not been the case. Things have just gone from bad to worse. They brought in Unai Emery. Unai Emery showed promise at the beginning, and that was just it. And things even went worse from what we even saw with Arsene Wenger. Then they brought in Mikel Arteta, former Arsenal player. He has a little bit of Barcelona flair in him, and they thought he would be able to bring the romance and the beautiful and sexy football, and that has not been the case. He started off winning the trophy at the beginning of his career, but ever since then, it's just been a downward trajectory, and it's getting worse and worse. If this man... Now, the next game this weekend will determine whether Mikel Arteta will be fired or not. They have a very tough and tight game against Everton this weekend, and they will need to bring in their A game. And more importantly, they will need to keep 11 players on the pitch, because Arsenal, if you look at it this season, under Mikel Arteta, they've actually gotten 7 red cards. Most of the time, they finish with 10 men on the pitch, and every time that happens, that limits Arsenal's chances of winning. So that's what happened yesterday also, as Gabriel was also sent off, making things even worse for them. But they were able to at least dig in deep and pull something out of the bag. Let's hope they can do that against an Everton team that are actually in form right now. For Mourinho, it's unfortunate that his team came out blazing in the second half, but poor finishing just let them down, if you'd ask me. And ultimately, sometimes things will go away. It's still too early. It's still too early. Just 3 points separate the first and the second at the moment. Talking about Liverpool and Tottenham. A lot will happen in this festive period. This festive period always reveals the best and the worst in managers, because fixtures are becoming thick and fast. And I'm telling you, one way or the other, it will either be Liverpool or Tottenham on top of the table come the 1st of January, or maybe not even the two of the teams.
Well, thank you very much, Aron Akerejola.